So I'm over here in the western garden plot, and the last 2 days I've been working on removing all of the materials, boards and pipes, blocks and sandbags, rock bags that were holding down the plastic that was sprung over the hoops for the blueberry plants. There's 4 varieties. Only a couple of one variety survived last year, but I think everything survived pretty darn well. The hoops did sink in a bit more than because of the snow load was well up in here, but this winter was a very mild winter for us. We're probably 7 feet below, 5 to 7 feet below what we normally get. Which was sort of a blessing. I think a week ago we had temperatures getting up to about 65 degrees. We still had plenty of snow in between each of them, but there was enough plastic that I was worried about the heat damaging the blueberry plant, so I opened up both ends, dug out the snow from the ends and opened up both ends, and it looks like I was successful and they didn't get further damaged. This garden plot, we haven't decided yet, but we're really reducing the number of plants that we're going to get in the ground this season. And so I'm not sure. I think there will be some bare root plants that I'll be putting over here. I may be putting some lettuce and spinach over here as well. But some of the areas will be just a lot of our hardwood cuttings, and we could propagate more of the plants, the perennial plants. And with this sort of weed mat setup, and of course it all has to be cleaned up yet, it'll be much easier to maintain, and I won't have to pay as much attention throughout the season, fingers crossed. Over here, some of the plastic, hopefully tomorrow we'll get these folded up. It's getting a little bit too windy out here now. Hoops, as you can see, some of the hoops that we use for the blueberry plants, some of the boards down in here. And let's take a walk around. I haven't done anything with the potted thornless blackberry plants over here. Trying to decide. I know I probably just have enough wood chips to put on top of cardboard, since last year inside of these hoops we had weeds starting to come up, so the wood chips have been breaking down so much, so I'm going to need to re-wood chip this hoop as well as the one over in the eastern garden plot. So we'll be putting down cardboard here that we've been saving all winter, and put some wood chips. We do have one pile of wood chips up there, a large pile, and that'll go on top of the cardboard here. And I'll decide what I'm going to do with these 2 lines here. We still have plenty of food left over from this last couple of seasons. And I haven't really done anything over in the other garden plots yet. It looks like the last of the snow on the central garden plot. There's only a few square feet where the snow is still piled up on it, but the heat today, we're up to 61 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's more of the materials that I use for holding down the plastic. There's more plastic over there. I've opened up the work area since we have some seed flats in there that are getting ready for the warmer weather, and then we can get the seedlings started up. I did get the seedlings started in the 72 cell flat, so we'll see. The ponds are all still frozen over. This is the one that this and 3, so this is number 4. So this morning there was about 1 foot around the margin here. It's afternoon now. Usually we can see lots of minnows, but since we had such a drought last year and all the ponds got, not all the ponds, but these ponds were just about dry last year. So we'll have to see just how well the fish come back this season in here. And again, all the ponds are connected, so water from one pond feeds into the next, and that should help out. But this ice is really melted back quite a ways. Pond 5 still pretty much frozen over. That one, we're going to have warm days, several more warm days this coming week. Go out to the honey hut. Pond 7, I don't know that you can see it out back out there. You can see there's still snow on the ground there and throughout the woods. But pond 7 is completely full. Maybe this week I will take a walk down and have a look at the beaver dam access road and all. Now the bees have been doing pretty well. At the end of last season we had 3 hives. We still have 3 hives at this point. You can see this post in front of this one right here in front of me and see the bees going in and out. I do see some pollen going in right now, so hopefully this hive actually did survive. You know, the numbers in there, I could see bees in there, but I only look at it when it's pretty cold, but I do see bees bringing pollen in, so that's really good. So hopefully the queen is still viable in there and they can come back. There will be some what beekeepers typically call robbing. I call it foraging. These bees, you know, this hive, the one right in front of us here, there definitely are bees in this one. I haven't pulled the hive apart. I mean, both of these hives are just loaded with honey all the way up. So hopefully they're in amongst all of the central frames within the boxes there. And they're working on sealing up some of the cracks and crevices around. So I think this hive is going to survive. That one is questionable. This one I think will survive, and I'm pretty much certain that this one's going to survive. This hive right here, quite a few bees in this one, and only the 2 top boxes have are loaded with honey and all. And I could see pollen coming in now, and you could see one of the hive box fronts there actually started to separate over the winter time, which really concerned me. But the hardy group of bees inside of this hive, and they're trying to patch it up. So I may end up, as summer progresses, and I usually don't take any of the boxes for harvesting honey for myself, but since there's damage to this box, probably in a month or so, I'll go ahead and take that box and see if I can, well, in probably about 3 to 6 weeks, I'm not certain yet, but I want the bees to go ahead and get very comfortable, get the queen to start working before pulling off that top box. And of course, this one's pretty well defended because there's plenty of bees here. The one down at the end, I don't know how well they are defended. Not sure how well any of this footage is showing up right now. But in front of each one of the hives, as you can see on the sill here, the window sills, you can see there's excrement that the bees drop off as they come out and exit. So they may not survive, but I think there's a reasonable chance that this hive will survive. We'll keep our fingers crossed for the bees. One of the deer got caught up, or 2 of the deer got caught up in the blueberry raised hoop netting that I put here. And during the winter, I came out, and on the other side of here, you could see there's some of the netting is in there. So I got to get in there and get this adjusted. And in several places, they just get underneath this and they get their heads caught up in here, and they know enough that they can get into these apparatuses. And for some reason, even though the snow may get up to about this high, it really doesn't get as deep inside of here, even though these are made for the snow to be able to work through the netting. When we have the frozen rain and all, it sort of makes it set there, and then the whole thing, if they've torn part of it, just sort of falls down in here. So it'd be nice if I had stronger netting than this netting, this bird netting, but it does pretty well if the darn deer would stay out of there. I've got quite a bit of pruning to do on these blueberry bushes. Back where we took the hugelkultur mounds out and back, and we put in pond 7, or expanded pond 7 out back, in that area we will be creating beds for all the blueberry plants for next year. Hopefully I can get that done this year. I took the T-posts out of this raspberry bed here. And we just, the last couple of years, I haven't spent the time weeding in these areas in here. And so I'm going to come in and pull up all of these raspberry plants in this bed. I should be able to salvage quite a few of them. There's a pokeweed there that's stuck in there. And one of the things I want to do is be able to come out here with equipment, and all of the totes underneath the solar panel arrays. Unfortunately, we've had so much, there's so much growth underneath this with vines and all. I need to clear this out, and I need to pour some concrete pads underneath the solar panel arrays. Same thing with this one over here. And before things dry up too much, I gotta get over there and get that wood processed for this coming season, so I can put it in for not this coming winter, but for next winter. And these are raspberry beds. They were really super productive raspberry beds going down in here, but as you can see, the weeds just have taken right over in here. Try and salvage as many of the raspberry plants as I can, but I need to use weed mats, I think, since I don't have the time to come out and take care of these beds as much as possible. Some of these raspberry plants I'll be putting on Craigslist for sale again this year, so we'll see how that works out. So that's a quick update on how things are going here. I'll have to do a lot of transplanting. I did find another well on the property where there was an old homestead many years ago. And so I got to do some work around the well so that I can keep any animals or people from falling in there. So that's an update as of today. What is today's date? I think it's 20th, March 20th, 2021. If you found this video of value, please give us a thumbs up. Be sure to ask any questions, leave any comments. They're always welcome. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.